What's going on YouTube? Alec DeLelio here with another guitar lesson. Today we're going to go over Complicated by Mac Miller as requested by Zach. So Zach, shout out to you for making this video possible. This song I think is really interesting. There's not any guitar in it to my knowledge. It's mostly synths, synth pads, vocals, drums. But it sounds interesting. I think it sounds pretty good. Played like this on an acoustic or on an electric guitar, I'm sure would sound great as well. So basically what I'm going to do is just go through the chords one by one. They'll all be tabbed out in the description of this video as usual. But to start things off, I'll just play it through once so you can get an idea of what we're gonna be learning. So that's pretty much it. That's the verse and chorus. That loop, goes on for most of the song. There's one other section that we're going to review as well, which is toward the end. I don't know if I'd call it a bridge or what, but that essentially just goes like this. And then goes back into the earlier progression. But to start things off, this is the vast majority of the song, is this loop here. So to start it off, you're going to have, I don't know exactly what I would call this, but it's like a modified bar chord. So you have your classic major bar chord shape here with the root note on the A string is to just bar the 5 bottom strings and then stack your middle, ring, and pinky fingers, all on the 5th fret of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. So they're all on the same fret and they're kind of held together by this root note, generally speaking. But for this chord, you're not going to play the root note because you're going to play the open A string. So you're still having, this shape here with these 3 fingers, but instead of barring, your index finger is only going to get the, it's going to land here on the 3rd fret of the high E instead of the bar. So that sounds like this if you strum it, but the way that it's played in the song is, and then the next shape, you can move very naturally to the next shape out of this one because, as I just explained, the next shape is just your standard bar chord with the root note on the A string. So you're going to bar this time the 1st fret on the bottom 5 strings, and these 3 fingers are just going to stay in the exact same position, but they're going to slide down from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret. So you can practice this transition a bit, but it's pretty natural, I think. And then the pattern is, so just listen to the song and try playing over it for a little while. You'll get used to that pattern pretty quickly. But those are the first 2 chords. And there's really only one more chord for this section, which is an F major. And the way that I'm playing it is, this is also kind of a classic open chord shape here. You're gonna do the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st frets here, like kind of in a descending pattern, starting on the D string. So you're gonna do 3rd fret on the D string with your ring finger, 2nd fret here, just below it, of the G string with your middle finger, and then your index finger kind of just completes that descending pattern with the 1st fret on the B string. And you're going to leave the high E open. So you have... But again, to kind of to play it, in the most accurate way, you also need to get this bass note in here so you can do the... and so the way that I do that, because you don't really want to bar it because you need to have the high E open. So what I do is I wrap my thumb around the neck and I kind of just grab the F, the 1st fret on the low E that way. So I play this with my thumb, the bass note, and then the rest of these fingers all kind of strum the top 4 strings that stay in that pattern. So the pattern is like this. The first time through, that F goes back up to this, which I didn't actually say the name of this chord. This is just a B flat major chord. So the first time the F goes back to the B flat, and the second time you just play the F through like 2 beats. So altogether, that's. And this time you stay on it. So that's the gist of that. It's a little tough to get that to get that wrap around, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. Alternatively, you could do it with just like your standard F major bar chord, but I think it sounds a lot better and it sounds a lot more accurate if you're able to get that open high E. So I definitely recommend you strive for that. But finally, there's that kind of bridge section toward the end. I'm not sure this is 100% right, but these chords do work over it. You're going to do a D minor 7, which I'm playing up here, barring the 10th fret with my index finger and using my ring finger to get the, I'm shaky, the 12th fret on the A string. And that plays for a couple beats. Just for simplicity's sake, to give you guys a sense of, you know, what I'm talking about with this section, I'm just going to play over it. D minor 7, and then this is an F major 7. So again, I'm not 100% sure that this is exactly what is being played in the song, but it works, I think. So again, this is the D minor 7, and then you're gonna play this F major 7. And to do that, you're barring the bottom 5 strings on the 8th fret, and you use your ring finger on the 10th fret of the D string, and also your pinky is going to drop below it to get the 10th fret as well of the B string, and your middle finger kind of falls in between here on the 9th fret of the G string. So that's 8, 10, 9, 10. So that's pretty much it. The song is really fun to play along with. I think, I think it's a great song. It's a classic Mac song. And one more thing, actually, before I cut this video, if you want to play some lead guitar, if you want to improvise over this chord progression, you would do so using the D minor pentatonic scale. So that is, again, essentially barring the 10th fret, and you go 10, 13, 10, 12, 10, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 13. So. And of course, there are other shapes of that same scale all around the neck. There are variations on it that you can use, so feel free to mess around with that. I won't go into too much detail on that right now, but hope you have fun with the song. As always, let me know if you have requests for future covers or guitar lessons.